Yeah. Don't worry about it. Yeah. No, I'm sure it's something to do with where the saves are going. But that's actually more authentic to how I played it. But first, we should do the intro. Mike, please.
Oh, I was going to share my weekend horror story, but that's fine.
Oh, sorry. I thought we were talking about the game now.
No, that would have been the
Please
right transition, but let me get this off my chest. So I started Sunday morning, got up early to do D&D. Except we weren't doing D&D, we were doing Mage the Awakening.
Oh, nice.
We alternate on Sundays, but like a couple hours into the game, I get a message that my mom needs help, and I go and check on her, and she's in full anaphylactic shock. Her tongue is swelling.
Oh, no.
And her throat's closing up. So I administered her a EpiPen, called 911, gave her a couple Benadryl. Took the ambulance 35 minutes to get to the house. And when they got there, they took their sweet time, and they were just like, yeah, we kept thinking like throat closing, they're going to bump this up to a priority 1, but they never did. Sorry it took us so long to get here. I was like, I don't even know what that means. Like, is that a special EMT code for you get to go fast? I don't know.
Gets to cut in front of like the
yeah,
child
probably.
might
Like
have
they
broken
need
arm.
that to like be allowed to like break the speed laws and yada yada.
Probably depends a lot on locality too.
Probably. I don't know, but it was like I could have been like halfway to Grand Rapids.
But
at least
was she feeling better by the time they got there?
A little bit better. I was having to keep her corralled because she kept thinking that she'd be really embarrassed if the EMTs saw that she had dirty dishes in her sink. So she was trying to wash dishes while being like, her throat is still like closing up and she's having trouble breathing. I was like, Mom, you just have to sit somewhere. Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Eventually I had to walk out of the house and just be at the end.
Well, that's the thing. Epinephrine and Benadryl is just a fucking trip to be on at the same time. I actually had an allergic reaction just a few days ago when I accidentally ate like some ravioli that apparently had pine nuts in it.
Oh, damn.
But
I
was
scary.
It worked out okay, but I didn't have to go to the emergency room.
Well,
but another thing you can do when someone is like doing that is like drink coffee.
I asked her if she'd had some coffee in the morning. I have a lot of allergies, so I know how to like kick out like a bad. It's usually hives for me, but still. If I'm going out in public, I want to get those bad boys settled down before I get seen by anyone. No,
what did she have in reaction to?
We don't know yet. This is the third time this has happened this year, and they're still trying to figure it out. So they've been getting baseline tests from her when she comes in. This is the worst one that we needed like an ambulance for. Which, fuck, I could have just driven her there so much faster, but whatever.
Yeah.
So they were like, well, this time what we're going to do is we want to see what was in your system at the time you were having the reaction. So we want to take a urine sample. So here's a jug. We want you to fill it for 24 hours and then bring it back to us. And we will, and it was like a full gallon jug. And they were like, then we will test this.
All the things.
Piss her up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I volunteered to deliver it to the hospital later the next day. And it was like an hour before the 24-hour mark, but they were also closing like in the next hour. And I was like, I just want to hit it now instead of we fill it in the morning. And then they're like, well, you let it go 32 hours. Now we need to start this over. I was like, fuck it, whatever.
The lab and the testing place you'll usually and my favorite thing about hospitals is they always put the lab drop off in like the most
hard to find,
like arcane, hard to find part of the hospital.
Well, so fun part, they were instructing her that it just needed to go to the main entrance of our main hospital here. I was like, okay, I know where that is. It's not too far away. So I drove it over, and right as I'm getting into the hospital like main area of the parking lot, the speed bumps got really intense.
Oh no.
And the
This jug
tipped over. And I was like, well, it's got a lid on it. It should be fine. And I had it in a brown paper bag. I had like the instructions next to it, like the work order, right? And no, I park, and it was a soggy. Like the moment I tried to pull the bag back up, it just tore through it.
Oh boy.
And it was covered in urine. Covered. The lid was still on, but urine was everywhere in my Jeep. The fucking Jeep that I cannot smell or sell now smells like my mother's urine. So bad. So I just had to grab it. And like, I'm at the end of the parking lot. I walk towards the main entrance area holding this wet jug of urine and this wet work order for it. I get up to it, and it's a fenced off area that says closed for work. Like, they were fully reconstructing the outside. So I have to walk to an ancillary side, still holding all of this. I go up. They're like, what are you here for? I tell them. They're like, go to a window and they'll help you there. All right, fine, go to the window. And they're like, all right, take a seat. Someone will be out at some point to collect this from me. I was like, can someone just take it, please? No?
You
All right. So I have to sit and wait in an area where everyone is sick too. And then the person comes out and they're like, you're early. This shouldn't be here yet. Like, you should have waited till tomorrow and brought it in tomorrow, so it would have been a full 24 hours. And at that point, I was just like, I am so covered in my mother's urine. I can feel it getting sticky on my hands as it's drying. Please, for the love of God, take this from me so I can just go.
That sounds pretty bad.
It was...
You really took the piss on that one.
At least I love my mother.
Yeah, no, that's very sweet.
Woof. Yeah, so I spent a good portion of yesterday trying to, like, draw urine still out of the carpeting of my car's floor, and it's,
What are you using, like, baking
it's just getting
soda?
worse. It's just, yeah, and this, like, spray called Folex that I'm spraying on there. It's supposed to be good for upholstery and carpeting for removing stains and odors, but, like it says, like, pet accidents on there, but it's
what's
not
it called?
fucking working. Folex.
Oh, look, I got a lot of beer spills in my car. So.
Oh, it will get rid of those kinds of stains for sure, but it's not getting rid of urine.
I get this real bad problem of leaving work at 3 a.m. with a full to the brim styrofoam cup of beer. And just
That sounds like a bad habit.
It is, but my job encourages it to an extreme, and like it's.
Can't you just finish the drink before you get into
No,
the
that's
car?
why
at
it's in
least?
the foam. It's the roadie because I literally I don't have to get on 17.
I was gonna say, what did you go back to the weekend pub? Because that's how we used to do it at the weekend pub.
Pubs got nothing on this place. Like this place is just like
oh no,
literally they said like you are not a real employee until you've done multiple car bombs and flaming Dr. Peppers and stayed until 3 a.m. And like they will not stop pouring your beer because there's always someone standing behind the bar like chain smoking cigarettes. Like,
those are the drinks that I met one of my roommates having.
Yeah, my job is like it's taxing on the liver and the mind.
Sure,
but I
get it. Speaking
best work environment, like personnel wise, everyone really gets along because. We get trashed.
Because you're all drunk.
We get trashed every night together. Absolutely. Just disgustingly hammered. But now I'm kind of addicted to Rebel Mints.
Oh.
Say again?
Rumple Mints. They turned me onto that.
I'm not a fan.
The first time I had a shot, I didn't like it. It was just because, hey, Marcus, you want a shot? And I was like, oh, that looks like a bottle of vodka.
But you didn't know what
black
it was,
label,
right.
double eagle, red lettering. I'm like, oh, it's just some chilled vodka. Sure. And then I was like, And then they're like, oh, we're so sorry. We should have told you. And I was like, it's fine. And then like an hour later, like, do you want to try another one?
I'm just not big into medicinal flavors, right, of a liquor.
You want to get pulled over with that breath. They're like, oh, he just brushed his teeth. Obviously, he's not drunk. He's not drunk at 4 a.m. leaving work. He just brushed his teeth.
Yeah, no one with minty fresh breath has ever been intoxicated at the same time.
That's my theory behind pickled eggs. What you see in the bars is I think like that's something you pop in your mouth when you're a little too many Bud Lights deep, and then like that vinegar and egg sulfur is gonna like cut through that alcohol.
That's actually interesting.
My theory.
I always assumed it was because you were like so dangerously drunk, you just needed something in there.
Protein and vinegar.
Like add. You need like something solid in there, or it's gonna be bad.
like the pickled egg thing actually is like wicked old. Like it predates refrigeration as like a beer thing. No, but I mean like its presence in American bars is something that like goes back pre-prohibition. So I suspect it probably wasn't like that thing. Although maybe that's what it turned into.
Drunk on your horse.
It was probably just something that was. I guess that's true.
Honestly, no, they didn't like. Even when we first had cars, So they didn't like give a like. There wasn't no legal
There,
limit.
there was no a law on driving
No.
drunk.
Yeah, they're like
Ireland didn't have one until
like,
just a
like
few years
yesterday.
ago.
Colin Farrell like did something crazy again. And they're like, God damn it.
Okay, so do we want to talk about Gex, the memeiest game?
Is it
The
me?
game from which
Yeah.
Or is it like the goddamn lawyer's nightmare? Like how many copyright infringements? Like how much money did they have to pay out to get that game made?
it's all parody. You don't have to
To
don't have to
me,
pay anything like that.
It felt more like the feeling of going back and looking at your own MySpace page,
And like, oh, I can't believe I thought
where
that
it's
was
just
funny.
like so cringy.
Yeah, the quips in that game are very.
I will point out that I made you guys play the PlayStation version because the Nintendo 64 version has, I think, like half the lines
Yeah, we don't want
that
that.
the PlayStation version does.
So you played that game.
So, yeah, so like you actually get so it repeats a lot sooner. So I didn't want to like make you guys go mad.
No, I was impressed about how many, and like almost how situational a lot of them were for like the levels.
Mhm.
But it definitely did every once in a while. It would have like an out of place one, and like I don't know if that's a wrong thing. If like, because I played the N64 one growing up.
Mhm.
I thought I had. I
So you
I
think you
remember Gex. I think I actually played Gex 3 for the N64, not into
That's
the
the
Gecko.
one that has the wrestling.
Yeah, because I remember like, oh, when is the Lake Flaccid stage gonna come up in the game? And it never does.
Lake
and that's when I
Flaccid?
realized
How'd
like
they get away with
Lake
that
Flaccid
one?
is one of the stages in Gex 3. Yeah, I know, especially for a
Child
Nintendo game back then.
Well, I mean, Conquer was on the N64.
Ooh, that's true. Yeah, but not many people got to play it because Conquer required the expanded memory pack, right? That little extra
I don't
expansion
remember that
slot.
one. Probably.
Mm.
No, so like the guy who wrote this is Dana Gould, who I think he wrote for the Simpsons for a while.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm.
As well. He did a one man show. He did a one man show where it was he played Dr. Zaius pretending he was William Shatner, like Dr. Zaius from Planet of the Apes as William Shatner.
That's an episode of
Or-
The Simpsons. They have the Dr. Zaius musical in The Simpsons.
Yeah, but I don't think William Shatner.
Well, no,
in
he's
that
doing
at
the
all. It
parody
was just another-
kind of singing style, of like the William Shatner songs.
Well, I mean, it's
little bit.
Falco, isn't it?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Dr. Zaius, Dr. Zaius.
Rock Me Amadeus. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. But now he does like a talk show on YouTube where he is just like a 70s TV version of Dr. Zaius. Although I think he's just Dr. Z. I don't think they can legally call him Dr. Zaius anymore. So if you can like just
Is
That one?
off-brand like
but is he
Hollywood
in
Squares
full
jokes.
like
Makeup?
Makeup,
regalia?
yeah, full makeup
Okay.
the whole time.
Really?
And he does like this kind of like
I didn't know if I
piss
should
take
call it-
Space Ghost talk show.
I miss Space Ghost.
so good?
That shaped my humor as a child for a while.
Mhm.
That,
Oh
like-
yeah, absolutely.
But don't forget to do the intro.
Oh, hey, welcome to Save State podcast, where we pick a game, play a game, and sometimes remember to do the intro. This week we picked Gex, Into the Gecko for the
Colon.
PlayStation, all the
One.
colons, and well, PlayStation. I'm going to add a number if it's one of the other ones. It's the OG. You don't need to put the number on there. It didn't have the number when it first came out, did it?
So you're one of those people who just calls Indiana Jones and
Raiders. I call Indiana Jones Raiders because that's what the first Indiana Jones is, Arvid.
Do you say Mad Max 1?
I would just say Mad Max. Otherwise,
Road
you're talking
Warrior.
about Thunderdome.
oh yeah,
you're just
Road
saying
Warrior came
Thunderdome.
before Mad Max. No,
You're
there's
right,
there's
Road
3
Warrior.
Mad Maxes. Yeah.
Shit.
He
Wasted.
got you.
No, I
got
was
me.
actually having a conversation at work with this guy. We were listening to Whitney Houston, and I asked him, like, who do you prefer, Whitney Houston or Tina Turner? And he legit thought about it. He's like an older guy. He legit thought about it for a little bit. He goes, Tina Turner had a little rougher upbringing, but, I think she did better with her life than Whitney Houston. Whereas Whitney Houston kind of went into a very bad relationship, knowing she was going into a bad relationship. And I was just like, look, dude, I was just looking for you to say who runs Bartertown.
Yeah, right. I was actually thinking about that for a second too. I was like, wait,
No, I'm not that deep into Whitney Houston or Tina Turner. I know a couple songs.
No, I was like, shit, I don't know if I have any references for a joke here.
no, I only know that one Lemmy sketch, the Nutbush City Limits sketch. That's about my knowledge of Tina Turner.
I have no idea what any of
I don't either.
Nutbush?
That means nothing to me.
Is that like
you okay?
sketch?
It's like one of her first big songs, Nutbush City Limits.
I
think.
literally thought it was like a sketch comedy show that was so
Yeah, it
obscure,
sounded like
you
one.
were the only one who watched it.
Well, no, the sketch comedy show is called Lemmy Show, but that is not a thing that exists anymore.
Yeah, so Gex.
Yeah, no, that's so Gex is also very on topic all the time.
It's very. What is it?
Unless you play it
doesn't.
20 years after it's come out.
Well, to be fair, most of the jokes I think actually still I wouldn't say they still hold up as being funny.
They're not but time constrained because they're all film jokes.
Exactly.
No, everyone gets a joke about Ross Perot's son. That's topical to today.
No, that's true. Except for the Ross Perot stuff, which was,
The game
that's
was
the
made
90s,
for film
but
school kids.
Yes.
yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's funny because it kind of reminds me a lot of like Mystery Science Theater, obviously, because they're, both riffing on stuff like that. But like I liked Mystery Science Theater a lot when I was a kid, even though like I totally wasn't getting like 80% of the jokes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then now watching it, I'm like, oh, okay, these are all references I get now. And with Gex, that's mostly actually kind of my experience. Like I was expecting to go back to this, and it was going to be a clunky early 3D platformer, and all of the dialogue was going to annoy the crap out of me, and it was going to ruin my memory of it. And maybe it isn't as streamlined as like a Mario 64 or a Spyro or something. It's still pretty decent, and the quips I thought were kind of okay. Like
Not bad
a lot of them
all.
were almost funny.
I
yeah.
definitely repeated them in middle school to my friends.
Yeah. I remember that kind of stuff going on with it.
Not knowing what the fuck I was saying.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
They could have cut back on a couple of them, like every time you try to shimmy up a little bit higher onto a ledge with your tongue, slip of the tongue, like that is now stuck in my head for a while. Hopefully I'll be able to get it out at some point.
So I think that's probably just more of an issue of the mod. Because I feel like it's probably easier to do with like the actual game and actual controller. It was probably less likely for you to slip. Because I had a big issue where I couldn't use my joystick. I had to use my D-pad. And for a 3D platformer, only having 4 directional abilities is not fun.
Yeah, I mean the PlayStation
simple.
1 didn't have
What? PlayStation 1?
The PlayStation 1 didn't have a stick for a long time until like the DualShock controllers came out. And
that's what it was, because it was based off the PS1 mod that we were playing. And I had played the N64 version. Mm-hmm. So the N64 had the joystick.
Yeah, joystick, and then usually the C buttons, if they didn't do anything else, moved the camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is the camera? Would anyone else have frustrations with the camera in their playthrough?
Oh, constantly.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And it would make that sound when it couldn't
Super
go
janky.
more. Yeah.
Oh yeah. When it has collision.
Well, I would set it to like not free roam, but like
auto.
No, I did the one where I would control it, but it would also like optimize
semi-auto.
And then it was just like in the only places I really need to use the like personal optimization, you don't want to move, and I don't know why.
Yeah.
Like when I'm on top of that rock and not Looney Tunes, I can't look around.
Yeah, when you're not fighting Elmer Fudd's. I'm sorry, Elmer's Fudd. But
yeah, no, like I've played a lot of I've gone back in the past few years and played a lot of really terrible PlayStation 1 platformers. And like compare this to like Croc or like Jersey Devil or any of those ones, like this is actually still pretty good, but like compared to what was going on with 3D platformers on the N64, this is obviously way worse. Also, one thing I forgot about the PlayStation 1 is the non-existent draw distance. Like, it's just like everything's got Silent Hill fog after a certain thing, even if you're in Looney Tune land.
Yeah, it's a little limiting to it. I didn't find any of that overly annoying, though. I think what I found the most annoying was, in Mario, you constantly go back in Mario 64 to the same level to go get more and more stars. And they do the same thing in this, but I often didn't find myself wanting to go back in after like a second time. I'm like, I really don't want to get that third. Usually by the second one, you've unlocked another place. It's time to go on. And I just wasn't really feeling like I needed to complete this thing 100%. Right.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's
I would agree. Like the
white and gold remotes with no hints, which is just like you gotta really dig in those corners.
You just gotta find them.
Stuff. Yeah.
Like the levels in Mario 64 are not very linear. Like they feel like big playgrounds. So like when you have to go and find different things, it doesn't feel like you're necessarily repeating stuff every time. And with the levels in Gex, most of them were very linear. Some of them were a bit less.
I feel like they're linear with like 2 paths at most.
Yeah, exactly. Like there was usually like a split or something at some point. So that I think that really kind of didn't work for having to go back and get the multiple remotes. And unlike Mario, like I think this one really encouraged you to do that to get because you couldn't just do every level once and open the next gate. Like you had to really.
There wasn't enough open levels to just do one of each and then progress.
Yeah, exactly. Which I think was a little clunky. It almost makes me wonder if they started making this and then they like, oh wait, we have to do the Mario 64 thing, so let's do that.
Was Mario 64 out at the time? Like I know it was like a release title.
That would have come out at like 96, 97?
96, yeah. And the first Gex isn't like a 3D platformer. It's like more of a 2D platformer.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Also, the flagship mascot platformer for the 3DO. There's an alternate universe in which the PlayStation fails, and the trifecta of mascots is Mario, Sonic, and.
Look, I like Gex as a mascot, like as a concept. I would like to see a Gex revival. I'd like to see Gex in a Smash Brothers. I'd like to see
one move, the tail sweep.
No, but here's the thing. No, I'm talking about like we do a Super Mario Odyssey remake of Gex. Think of all the like back then making movie and TV
Skyrim
references.
Gex.
Yeah, sure. No, I could see somehow.
Just in, what is it, TV
like,
Land?
I guess the dungeons are like your TVs. Yeah.
Is it called TV
the
Land? Media Dimension. The Media Dimension.
Media Dimension, yeah.
Which really gave me heavy Paradise Killer vibes. Like the architecture and like the Media Dimension.
They really did that vaporwave shit before everyone else was onto that. All like the random columns and gates and shit. And like
that was like all I could think about was just like, damn. If I could wipe my mind and play Paradise Killer for the first time again, that'd be great.
I know, been thinking that recently myself. It's such a fun game. But no, I was just going to say we're in an era now of movies and TV where we are always like making that pop culture reference within the moment at the show, especially with social media now. We're making them now. It doesn't take 2 years for something to come out, it to settle into pop culture and then become referential. They could easily do with all the cinematic universes that have come through these days and all the different like supernatural TV shows and everything. They could do a really fun Gex, making fun of all of it, taking the piss out of it. Sorry, it's a little soon.
Self-referential.
But I think actually now would be a better time than any for Gex to come back.
Like almost to like shit on modern cinema.
Yeah, exactly.
Modern cinema really needs that. Someone needs to take the piss on Marvel, DC, and the recycled crap they keep churning out.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, I think that like you could do a better job of it. Like I'm certainly like you see enough people complaining about Marvel and DC and all that jazz, but they don't really bother to like
make their own superhero and then $billion franchise.
No, I just mean like. Approach the humor with nuance and not just be like superheroes. Am I right?
This thing, right? Yeah,
exactly.
I mean, like a postmodern Gex.
I'm down for that. No, like, but like the one thing that is very modern actually in Gex, and not modern to our time, but contemporaneous to its release, is the incessant Austin Powers jokes.
Oh my god!
That was-
and I did not get
that-
those as a kid. I don't like. I'm pretty sure I hadn't seen it yet. I saw it fairly young, but
Yeah, I don't know if I ever went to a sleepover where a Austin Powers movie at least wasn't watched.
sure.
Or
at
Ace
that time.
Ventura.
Yeah,
Or
well, Ace
Ventura, or
Ventura.
both. I'm actually
would've been
surprised
fine
that there
with.
weren't more Ace Ventura references.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Jim Carrey probably would have sued. Parody law or not.
Maybe, I don't know.
The technology just wasn't there for Gex to talk out his own asshole yet. That's really what stopped it.
Yeah.
They tried.
So did
Months
any of you
lost.
have like a favorite like level design or anything?
Well, that's
in that?
actually a good point. Is like I think that they did a really good job with these levels. It almost like I remember playing this, and I remember, or at least my memory of it was like it was kind of repetitious. Like there was a Looney Tunes level, and then there was a monster level, and there was a Looney Tunes level, and there was a monster level.
Don't forget the Hong
Going
Kong
back
level.
and playing it,
Or Chinatown.
Yeah.
level.
I'm
Yeah,
trying
but
to
going
forget the Hong
back-
Kong level.
You didn't like it?
It's
It's a little,
little
Don't
much
look
for
at
me.
don't look at the graffiti.
yeah.
yeah, it's a little Hong Kong phooey, and you know.
I kind of forgot.
That-
Like,
that
oh
doesn't
wow, we
age
were
so
really
well.
casual about this stuff back then.
I mean, in my headcanon is that it's like literally the 70s like kung fu
Sure.
exploitation movies that they're setting in. So it's not that Gex is racist. It's
They're
the
referencing.
it's the movies
It's
that
the
he's
media
referencing
dimension that
racist.
he's trying to fight through. That is.
Well,
Yeah,
Gex
exactly.
obviously profited from these movies that he starred in. So he's profiting from the. Because it's supposed to be these are all cinema. They're all cinema worlds that Gex has.
Well, I think
movies in.
the implication is that they're different TV channels. Because like Gex's things, like he's like a TV addict, and that's why he references stuff all the time. Because he just watches TV all the time, and then he like references those things, and then like all the different channels are like the different settings. So like there's the cartoon channel, which is Looney Tunes, and the horror channel, which is like Frankenstein and all that jazz, and like he has the power of like a guy who does pop culture, which was a thing in the 90s.
Yeah, it's very
like
postmodern.
that, like
is Gex
yeah, or like Freakazoid, whose whole
Yeah.
thing was just like
Yeah.
he was a superhero who watched a lot of superhero movies.
I thought Gex was like an
guess-
ex-movie star that retired.
Maybe-
Because that's
I
why
mean,
you
I don't
always see the
remember.
posters of like Gex starring in blah blah blah.
Oh, that's true. He might have been. Or
I guess
could
I
have-
should. I guess we have to play the other Gex games to find out.
Damn. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, we'll never know if Rex is his father or not.
That's whoa.
Literally-
Whoa. Spoilers.
It's
Whoa.
not a spoiler because this fucking how old is this goddamn game?
It's
It's like spoiling Star Wars.
Speaking of which, the Star Wars or the sci-fi knockoff levels were by far my least favorite.
I hated
Um,
the computer levels, like where you're inside a computer.
Circuit Central.
the Tron ones, basically.
I spent 3 hours just trying to cross the bridge. If you know what I'm talking
I
about.
would- Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
There's like timing based.
Yes,
like,
and timing platform and jumping over those little orbs coming at you.
yeah, and it's one of those things where you're working like corkscrew up a.
And it doesn't matter what section you fall on it, you go all the way back to the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. And the camera has no interest in
And no,
helping you
it
with that
doesn't
one
want
at all.
to. And like it would almost be funny watching Gex fly sideways across the screen for like almost a minute because I had gotten so close.
Yeah. No, but the the sci-fi level, it's like in space, and you have like an oxygen supply that you have to like keep refilling by like knocking over oxygen things. And of course, because it's in space, like almost every fall is instant death, which I guess almost is better than having to climb a giant thing. But actually, that's a good point about difficulty. Is I was expecting this game to be a lot more punishing and harder, and
It doesn't punish
By and
falls
large-
for the most part.
yeah, and because you don't really have like a lot of fall damage at all, but like I found that it was you kind of would have these difficulty spikes, but like between them you'd have like relatively easy like platforming bits where you could really like load up on lives. So like I would usually get up to like 20, 30 lives, hit a boss or like a hard part, then I drop back down to 5 or 10, and then like I would build up enough lives by the time I got to the next part where it wasn't really a problem. Which is not how I remember it.
I mean, like 97. Like, it's a long time ago. So. Get some rose tinted glasses. Looking back on that.
Well, the funny thing is going back and playing Crash Bandicoot last year, or whenever I did that, I had a lot of trouble with it now. I was like, how the heck did I beat this game? And I beat the game. I got all, like, I 100%ed Crash Bandicoot too. I don't know, like, just the thought of that makes me want to pull my hair out now. Like, that is not easy. So I don't know. Maybe it's the emulator making it easy on me.
Yeah, I don't know. I think as far as I did not like that Circuit Central level at all. I didn't like being out in space. Was the point, like, did they title it Circuit Central because they were making a, like, portmanteau joke between Circuit City and Comedy Central? I was trying to figure that one out, if that was, like, the reference.
I think they wanted to, like, make it just seem like Tron without being too on the nose with it.
It was really bad. I did not like that.
Yeah, no. I mean, to be fair, they did a Tron level before Kingdom Hearts did a Tron level.
Sure.
There's a Kingdom Hearts. I only played the first one, so.
No, it's in the second one.
I never got it.
I think.
I think my favorite one was what was that? I think it was Scream 4 was the way to read that with the dagger before the V. So that was my favorite one. Was that little haunted mansion.
I love the Chinatown levels. I'm going to say it. I know.
They were fun for the visuals, right? Like, there was so much going on.
They have both a vertical and, like, a horizontal aspect to them that a lot of the other levels didn't have.
Yeah.
But it did suck, because those are the worst, because if you take a fall near the end, you literally just plop down at the beginning of the level. Then you're like... I guess. Yeah. Here I am. There's so many times I took intentional deaths just because I'm like,
absolutely.
I'm done. I'm sorry, I'm done. I've been here for 4 hours.
Oh, God.
Marcus needs a nap.
Yeah, no, I mean, it does that thing that everyone likes about Kingdom Hearts, Dark Souls, where, like, you see a place, and then you eventually end up in that place in the Kung Fu levels. But you can also fall back down to the beginning of that place.
Especially when you can't die from fall damage and you've already killed all the enemies because it's your third time falling down. You're just like, what do I do? How do I die? Because, I don't know, maybe I just couldn't figure it out. Like, I couldn't figure out how to exit in a level, like, on command, outside of just quitting out of RetroArch.
Yeah. I mean, that's
if you just
how
press
I did it.
Which I couldn't do
button,
because I didn't have the save state, so I was like, I just want to get out this level and just dick around another level, but I can, and
yeah, there is a way to do that. I think it's just in the start menu. Just go to exit.
I might have had an issue with my control. I have a very off-brand cheap controller, and that might be why I couldn't use the joystick and all that jazz.
Might need to be mapped.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that this had joysticks mapped. I mean, you probably could, because, like, through RetroArch. Yeah, but, I mean, I don't know that this would have had, like, DualShock compatibility when it came out. I remember Ape Escape was the first game to have that for the PlayStation.
You and I, and Caitlin played the fuck out of that.
That was Ape Escape 2.
Was that Ape Escape 2? Yeah, when the three of us lived together for the summer.
That was a good time. But no, like, the one thing I really liked the cartoon levels, not necessarily for, like, the actual gameplay, but, like, the art style. Like, I think that there was this thing that they like a untapped, like, area in the PlayStation where, like, in like that kind of early cartoon style, like the Bugs Bunny type stuff, actually really works for, like, the capabilities of the PlayStation.
Yeah.
And very few games actually ran with that. The only games I can think of that actually did that were actually, like, Looney Tunes branded stuff.
Oh, yeah, was it?
But if you go back...
The sheep game, Sheep Herder?
Yeah, the sheep one. And then there was actually, like, a Wacky Races game.
Ooh,
you remember the Hanna-Barbera Wacky Races thing? And that thing did it really well. And you go back to that, and you're like, it looks like a PS2 game. I mean, it's not,
easy, isometric kind of architecture.
Yeah.
And those Looney Tunes were definitely more open world than any of the other ones, I felt.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think at least, though, that Sheep Herder one was, like, top down.
Oh, I meant
kind of
Gex.
Oh, yeah, that too.
The Sheep Herder one
they were a
was
lot
not
more
top
wide
down.
open.
It was Sheep Hunter. I'm going to Google it. Where you're actually playing the coyote.
Yeah, you're playing the wolf or whatever. Anyway.
Anywho. Sheepdog. And
Sheepdog.
Wolf. Sheepdog and Wolf / Sheep Raider. Jesus Christ, they really titled that game out.
Sheep Raider.
Sheep Raider.
I couldn't decide what to call it.
It was
Sheep Raider. Was it like a Tomb Raider?
Well, yeah,
I was going to say it
it's
must
the
have
new
just
George
been
R. R.
after Tomb
Martin.
Raider or something.
You know, I really played that game when I was a little kid too, but I couldn't get far in it because it was very, honestly, I would call it an immersive sim. You know, like you just have a mission set and an open world and unlocks.
Wasn't it also timed?
It was not timed. I don't think. If it was like a ridiculously long timer for like back in not like Tony Hawk where you got like the 2-minute fucking timer. Sorry, I can swear.
Yeah.
You can
Okay,
swear.
I just-
Yeah.
You don't give a shit.
Slips out of me a lot. And
No worries. No. Swears are okay.
Um,
I think that's where we're at as a society in general.
generally, that's one of my biggest issues is like the timer function on this. Like when you had a timer, it was you had what 2-3 minutes I think on it, and it was so fucking. I don't like timers in games. Let me explore the
very
level.
stressful.
I think it was purposeful because in a lot of those levels, they didn't have enough for you to see much more than like 10 minutes worth of content in the level. And they need you to go back in a couple times, right? So it felt like a really gimmicky way to cut back on content. I don't know if that was... Or make the most use
so
out of
that
your content.
Each
Yes.
time is like, you know, I looked at that one hint. And that's what I'm going in for.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Which, again, Mario does that fine. They don't limit you to a time on it, right? But the world's also bigger to explore.
Yes, they are a lot.
It is
bigger.
interesting though. They like with the Mario 64 thing, you always have that 1 star you can get from collecting 100 coins, and that's like the 1 star that doesn't kick you out.
Mm-hmm.
And the same thing with Gex. So like the one you get for collecting all the collectibles is the one remote that doesn't kick you out, which I thought was interesting. Like. I mean, I could conceivably think that maybe they thought of the system as, you know, without riffing or, you know, taking inspiration from Super Mario, but, like, there's no way
With
you
that
do
mechanic there, yeah.
that part of it.
They were
Yeah,
playing
exactly.
a lot of Mario 64 while they were making this.
Oh, that's fair. Better than playing Bubsy.
Oh, Jesus.
Do you know, I cannot pronounce his name. It's like Ululelulu? Ulilalulu? He's like
Lululemon.
No, that's like
thing, right?
No, it's like a
Is this a person?
He's like a kind of YouTuber guy. He's
Okay.
like obviously autistic.
Okay.
Okay.
You can look like there's like been like 2 documentaries made about him because he's like very like prominent online and he's obsessed with Bugsy. It's one of the games he's obsessed with. He loves like platformers and he has like all these videos showing you like the limits of what you can do in the game. It's very interesting to
He
watch.
did Bubsy?
That actually
he's-
sounds pretty interesting.
No, like
That sounds terrible. I mean, I not that sounds terrible. Being cursed with an interest in Bubsy sounds terrible.
I'll figure it out.
I'm gonna look it up. Cause
Yeah, it's like it's like Lulu Lilu. It's very weird.
Do we have any more thoughts on Gex as a group?
A very great childhood memory. One of my little binder folders when I was like in I don't know what grade, but I literally had like a ripped out like magazine advertisement for James Bond.
Yeah,
in there.
yeah,
Like in my little cover, you know. Like,
yep. And I think that ad right there was so common in everything. I think that's why I thought I played Enter the Gecko when I really played Gex 3, because I had to look at the covers of both of them. And once I saw the cover of Gex 3, I was like, that's the one.
It wouldn't surprise me at all if the render art for the cover of Gex 3 was something they did for promotions for Gex 2. Like, they just basically used... like, I mean, because they did that all the time back then. But I do think it's interesting is, like, why Gex just kind of disappeared. You know, like, all these other, like, 90s icon things just kept going.
When did Gex...
Except for, like...
So was Gex 3 the last one, or is it like...
Yeah, Gex 3 was the
When did
last
that
one.
come
It was
out?
99.
99?
99,
So
2000.
they were pumping them out real
Yeah.
quick after that first one.
Yeah,
think-
well, I mean, that's actually what I mean. Spyro, those 3 Spyro games came out in like 3 years of
I
each
think
other. That's
platformers
insane.
just gonna die.
Well, I don't know though.
I mean, there are
because,
still
in the
like
2000s you had.
I mean, there's still platformers coming out to this day, but them being like the main style of gaming almost.
They tend to
Yeah,
be
no, that's
considered like
certainly
a more
true, but,
casual
like-
game to play through.
Yeah, but like the people who made, Crash Bandicoot, they went on and they did like, no, was it Sly Cooper or no? They did Jack and Daxter. There was Ratchet and Clank. There was, there was a lot of.
I mean, Jack and Dexter.
3
the first
platformer series that I have never played.
Yeah, the first Jack and Dexter is like a pure 3D platformer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know about.
Well, maybe the second one's definitely
Yeah.
much more open
Yeah.
world or whatever. Well, that's a good point. But either way, like it's just like I don't mean it from necessarily from like. It just seems like kind of like hot IP to just sit there, especially because I know Crystal Dynamics, they went on and did like all the Legacy of Kain stuff, so maybe they wanted to be serious dark guy stuff now. Although I would love to see the crossover between Azrael and fucking Gex.
That'd be hilarious.
The TV dimension. Maybe
Yeah.
3 just didn't sell very well. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, also they got bought by Eidos, and that was that whole thing. I mean, it was right around then that the Tomb Raider started getting less good as well. So
Yeah. Well, I'd like to see one. Someone take a whack at it again. I don't know where it
I
is
know they're
in
making
ownership.
a remaster of it,
Yeah.
but no, I think they're owned now by the great conglomeration that is the Embracer Group owns Crystal
Aw.
Dynamics and their IP.
That's a
so,
real bummer. Cool.
Who knows? I mean, Saints Row's dead now, so that's fun.
Yeah.
And Red Faction.
That's.
Although
I'm okay with that for Saints Row, though. I'll be the first one to
last
say
one was-
that. It really went downhill.
I really liked 3, and I thought 4
did
was
too.
decent, and I think they kind of went up their own.
Buttholes.
Like they got a little full of themselves. Yeah.
Yep. I thought they were gonna go really back to basics after they did a Matrix within a Matrix as a video game concept. And I was like, I'm ready for
was
them to
fun, though.
reset everything back to normal, and it just never.
No, and then they went to hell instead.
Yeah. Yep.
They just doubled down. Like for when I played my memory of playing Gex was I had this problem as a kid where if I started playing a game, like if I ever ran into difficulty, I would just restart the whole game.
So you go back with that knowledge you already had.
Yeah, exactly. I need to, and I think this started from playing Final Fantasy or whatever, and I was like, oh no, I didn't level everyone properly, so I'm just gonna restart. But I did that with every game, and I wasn't very good at Gex, and I would run out of lives in the horror.
Because when you're a child, you don't think to stack lives. You're just go
exactly.
to
So
the
I just-
corner, yeah.
started a new game. So I played the intro and those first 2 levels are burned into my brain.
Yes.
And so it was pretty fun to actually keep playing past the second boss and oh wow, there's all these other levels.
It's
That I
not a
really
small
never
game at all.
experienced.
It's not a short game.
No, it's not.
No.
But it is weird because another game that I got was PARAPPA the Rapper.
Oh shit.
The file size of PARAPPA the Rapper compared to Gex is 100 times. And the first time I did it, I was like,
That's
stop.
wild.
I'm downloading every child porn virus known to man. And then I went and looked it up, and then they're like, no, it's just a big game for some reason.
PARAPPA the Rapper?
It's
That's wild.
insanely.
Well,
gotta
because
just be the
It's
music
a lot of
files.
videos, I guess. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot of video
Yeah.
files and audio files,
Yeah.
which back in the day were
massive.
take up tons amount of space.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you would never be able to run that on an N64.
Which is a PS1. But no, that game is, I don't know, so hard on a mod that I had to set it to easy. Because it was literally that little timer bar is it starts off oh, you should already pressed it.
Yeah.
And they're
Yeah.
I'm off beat.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're already behind.
But I will say, great music in that game.
Mm-hmm.
Great raps.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Hell yeah.
I just like watch. I'll just watch it. On
Really,
YouTube.
yeah.
I'm not gonna.
Better than having to listen to the same first 3 verses 100 times because you can't get good enough score.
Can't get past it.
Yeah. There was a Spice Girls game that my sisters had that was like. It kind of tried to borrow some of the elements from Parappa the Rapper, but without like any of the fun animations or anything like that. They looked like knockoff like Bratz dolls essentially. That one. I wonder what that would be like going back to that.
I thought you were going to say it was like an FMV with like the rhythm game attached to it, which would have, I would have played then.
They put no money into the Spice Girls game, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. It's a shame.
Yeah, it's not a shame. It's
probably around the time World Tour.
No,
was
but I mean,
out.
like, I think it was a shame that like the people who managed the Spice Girls viewed them as a flash in the pan for little girls and weren't really interested in trying to market it beyond just like.
Do you have some secret love of the Spice Girls? It's like
I
slowly,
do.
like, creeping out
Absolutely.
right
It's
now.
not even a
Like,
secret. I
you're
love
like,
the
they
Spice
deserve
Girls.
better than this bad. This should have been like a
Yeah,
RPG,
I mean, kind of.
like, where we get to know them.
I mean, no, probably not that. I don't actually want to get to know any of this.
I mean, watch the
but,
movie,
like,
and that's going to give you a better representation of
I
where
guess
they
that's
are,
probably
like,
what I guess
in their
that's really
acting
what it
chops
was
and,
just
like, their performance.
I just wanted the Spice World movie, the video game,
so fucking good,
and the world decided not to give me
I've
that.
never seen it.
It's really good. You should.
It's
I'm not going to say you should watch it, but I would watch a trailer for it and see if it lines up with what you'd
It's
enjoy.
a postmodern masterpiece.
Ooh.
It's like Super Mario Brothers in that way.
I think we're losing. No, I think we're losing the sense of what postmodern even means. We've applied it to too many things now.
I don't know. I think
It's meta-modern.
it still belongs. Yeah. All right. So we move on.
We shall, but
Gex was a good Gex 2. Good.
Gex 2.
Wait, we were supposed to
Good.
play all the Gexes?
Yeah. Now we're moving on.
Now
to
we're
Gex
moving
2.
on to Gex 3, and then we'll go back to the original.
Oh, I did not. Oh,
No, I didn't.
No.
No, but I'm going to hit the head before we move on to news.
I'm down to hit the head.
Yeah, so I'm going to be right back. Hell yeah. Well,
I haven't showered in 4 days.
the wildest part of that statement was that you were still head bobbing when that audio came over because we had like a good 6-second delay.
I don't know if it's 6 seconds, but yeah, it's not short.
It was
Also,
enough
I think my
that
head was still bobbing when I said that.
okay.
No,
I saw your mouth move well after the statement was finished.
Yeah, no, I do not have a shower curtain or soap or.
Oh,
Actually, I do have 2 showers though, which is interesting, connected to each other, in like a weird situation where someone decided they needed a shower that could wash another shower.
wait,
Although
what?
I think this is. It's like
You're gonna have
so
to
on
you're gonna
the
have to
wall-
draw me a map on this one.
So if you can imagine, there's one wall with a shower thing on
Yeah.
it, right? So you
Yeah.
head, if you can stand here, get showered on.
Great.
And then there's a corner, and then there's another wall, like in that corner, with a shower head here that also goes to the same spot. There's just 2 shower heads
Oh, okay.
going to the same spot. I suspect it had something to do with the older people who used to live here, and it was some necessity for being bathed by other people.
But what you are saying is you can turn on both heads at the same time and angle them to hit like the middle of your body and just get a double shower in.
I'm afraid to do it though. It's
sounds-
like that just seems too.
It sounds
Doesn't it seem like it's.
no, it sounds nice. I think it sounds really fucking nice. Like not all the time, but like occasionally to treat yourself, take a double shower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you mean by double shower?
He has 2
I
shower
have 2
heads,
showers.
No, yeah.
That just-
That's awesome.
Go to the same spot.
opposite
Attached.
sides. I'd
Oh,
get in front and
fuck.
back
I'm so
blasted.
jelly.
like,
Well, not
constantly.
opposite sides. They're 90 degrees from each other.
Either way.
Beautiful. Like literally, like today has been like my first actual off day in like well over a month, just because of school and work.
Mm-hmm.
My first day with zero obligation. I mean, I have obligations with schoolwork, but I was just like, I need a day to like go do errands. And I literally my main goal was to go to Costco and get this shower head that I had seen months and months and months ago. And obviously I get there and they don't have it anymore. So
Oh no.
Just get a whole new, but I end up getting a whole new like bathroom like set. You know what I mean? Like
nice.
Yeah, way too much money. But I love the ones that are detachable but still have the ring that goes while you're detached. I love those so much. Like, my job, we don't have a dishwasher. Like we have like the machine, but we don't have like someone who's a dishwasher. So like, it's like
we just lick the plates clean and put them back.
No, we don't have like someone who actually like that's their job is to like clean dishes. So it's like
I know
when you're like not busy, and I've always told myself like if I ever get rich, I'm getting one of those things in my fucking shower. The little like
it is actually really nice that whole.
I don't know if you've ever
nozzle.
experienced one of those, Arvid, but they're like weak pressure
I've
washers.
seen them in action.
And, I love them. And I'm like, I just want one of these to just really get the grime.
Just scour
spots
myself.
Yeah, no, I'm one of those people who has to like if I like still have a layer of skin on my back after I get out of the shower, I haven't had a hot enough shower. So
I'm a huge fan of doing the cold turn at the end for like 10.
Oh, you got to.
Arvid recently got me onto the cold turn. Because
nice.
I was way too like red and sweaty after, because I have a friction allergy, so like a lot of heat and friction sources will cause welting on me too. And man, cold right at the end for like that last little bit, it makes a huge difference for all of it. Yeah.
Also, it really helps your skin not dry out in the winter.
Interesting.
Like something about like the way the skin, like when you have the really hot skin and then the really cold air, it like makes it dry
out. It's like
out
leaching moisture from your skin to be put into the air or something.
Something like that. Yeah. Everyone's Audacity is still going. Just want to double check.
Pretty sure.
Yeah, I'm at like 104 right now.
Yep.
Yeah, me too. All right. Cool. Just double checking.
Sorry.
Shall we move on to the news?
News. Yeah, sure. I got a little bit of news here, like one thing. So, news. Got it in one. Fuck yes. What is this? Epic Games. Did you see what's been going on with Epic Games this week?
You can't say, did you see this without doing the Leno voice?
No, that's, did you hear about this?
Oh, wow.
Did you hear? Yeah, wow. I wasn't even trying to do that. So we were talking about Unity Engine last week, and we brought up Epic, and how it's like, a lot of these companies might start going this weird way, and Epic's got the Unreal Engine. So they're laying off 16% of the workforce because they are not making their profit margin on what they'd been planning, because they want to invest more into creating Fortnite to be a metaverse destination for people. And I mean, this isn't even news at this point. This is just me griping about what the fuck is wrong with these people. But like, really, what the fuck
is rolling over his grave?
It's so fucking bad. Oh, I spent like the better part of the afternoon just looking up Tim Sweeney's net worth and being like, you fucking asshole. You're firing all these people and you could just take like a small pay dip and everyone would be fine.
Make $1 billion less a year. You'll be fine.
Yeah, well,
Jesus Christ.
We don't need 3.
He's got to continue to be the person who owns the most land in North Carolina. That's his responsibility.
Is it North Carolina?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I knew it was somewhere. For some reason, I thought it was like Northern California.
No.
But that makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
It's North Carolina.
God damn.
Yeah.
This is getting depressing.
Yeah. I've been hearing a lot of people talk about Godot as like this other engine people are going to use.
Yeah.
So the issue is that they're charging for downloads, right? I'm not 100% familiar with it. I've like kind of seen like a few memes about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they wanted to start charging per download, but they also wanted to basically make
the game maker.
Mm-hmm.
The game maker, like, so the license fee would be per download, but then they would also affect every game that's ever used Unity.
Oh, they want to like
beforehand.
Yep.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
is that legal?
And
Hasn't been tested.
Apparently it's very hard to get these kind of things through court. Some people have tried before.
A lot of litigation,
and
involved,
they just
and like a lot of
exactly.
like lawyers speaking at each other. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it hasn't been. It's not a good look either which way.
Yeah.
So and then they also were just being kind of scummy. And the problem, I think part of the problem is that like Unity went public a couple of years ago, and like there's always that as soon as you do that, there becomes that like feeding frenzy for market share and quarterly earnings and all that horse crap.
Never enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Perpetual growth is the name of the game.
Yeah, so that was probably not going to be. Maybe the smart decision was to get off Unity a couple of years ago, but I feel bad for like there's a lot of game devs I follow who are they're 2 years into their game that's built on Unity and they're just like
scared.
I guess we're boned.
Yeah, I guess I'm pulling this from shelves and it'll never see the light of day again, so that I don't lose a shit ton of money that I've already spent, probably invested into new projects.
Or just the fact that you will be obligated to spend that money forever.
Mm-hmm.
Like we complain about like that's one of the bigger things about this is like we complain about games disappearing and like we can't find these things anymore because people take them down from storefronts because we don't have physical media anymore. And if you make an indie game that does okay, and it's 5 years later and you're still getting charged per download and no one wants to pay more than 99 cents for that thing, you're just not going to host that anymore. And like I get it.
Don't want to go in debt because you're video game. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like why would you do that? And yeah. So I think it's a bad idea for that purpose as well, just there's no end point when you stop sucking money out of people. But hopefully Godot is a good open source. I mean, I don't know if it's open source, but it's certainly not as nasty of a company, apparently. I don't know much about it. It's kind of like when everyone was leaving Twitter and everyone was like, Mastodon's the place to be. And I'm like, I still don't know about that.
No, that one doesn't sound right. I mean, Threads is also not right on that too, so, Yeah,
that disappeared to Flash too.
Yep.
Good Lord. Ugh.
Well, these just like Twitter alternatives that popped up for a second.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not.
Yeah. Well, I think they're still around.
I'm not really.
Threads is like
involved in these
Facebook's
concerts.
thing, and Mastodon is like.
Mastodon is like a metal band from the 2000s.
Well,
There
that too.
Mastodon's like Discord.
Yeah, I don't
It's
actually.
also
that's all
like
that
like
is.
an old elephant.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I actually
Old
like
elephant.
that. That's the best way to describe that. Next time someone asks me.
It's like
Just
an
an
old ass
elephant.
elephant. You don't
Yep.
see him around.
Mm-hmm. Too old.
They never forget.
I mean, yeah, that's really it for my game news. Is I don't know if Epic Games is taking advantage of the Unity hate right now and being like, well, if we just kind of announce this mass layoff and this like push into this metaverse
I hate that too.
economy that we're trying to create. I know it's really shitty.
Marvel
I don't
started
understand what
it.
any of this is. I just keep
That's
hearing
different.
on one of my podcasts that Paris Hilton is asking people to come into Roblox to join her for a metaverse party, and that it's going to slay. And it's just I'm
David
ready
Foster
to,
Wallace is. Gonna
I'm
kill
ready to
himself
put a
again.
bunch of rocks in my pockets and just walk into Lake Michigan at this point. Like,
I mean, yeah, humanity
we're fucking
died
done.
at that moment. Like, monoculture took over. This is what God he was talking about in Lost World. The tall man.
I have to point out that both Roblox and
You love them?
and what's her face are remarkably not pertinent to most people's everyday life.
well, that was
Roblox?
my confusion. Is
You
what
tell
the
me
fuck
Roblox
is like?
isn't pertinent? That thing is huge.
Yeah, to
Talk to
children.
a child.
But how are 12-year-olds like?
Some
ask
children.
a 12-year-old who
You're average.
Paris Hilton is. They don't fucking know.
They're about
No,
to.
exactly.
They're about to go to a rager. They're about to get candy high, hanging out with Paris Hilton on a Roblox.
No, I mean, I remember when people did out of touch shit like that. It would be like, look, Duran Duran's now on MySpace. Don't you want to like go to like talk to Duran Duran on like a?
You're
like,
thinking
no.
of Duran Duran on Neopets.
Oh yeah, shit. No, it's Tears. It was Tears for Fears on Neopets. But yeah, no, exactly. I don't know.
So hopefully we have some cool, fun gaming news in the coming weeks that isn't just about these companies being dicks.
Chris Metzen has returned to Blizzard.
Oh,
The one of the good old Blizzard guys.
yeah.
Who hasn't been accused of anything nasty and also worked on good games. So
Yet.
that's good.
But like, does Blizzard like really work on anything new, or are they really just like maintaining their empire at this point?
Well, I mean, they tried to do that over. I mean, Hearthstone and Overwatch were new games, and I mean, they're not
Overwatch
new,
is
but like
almost creeping on a decade.
no, I understand that, but like compare that to like Call of Duty and like the other things that exist of that level. League of Legends has been the same game forever.
I'd like to see them try something. I'd like to see Blizzard try to, not necessarily a new IP, but take one of their old IPs and put it into a new genre, a new style of gameplay.
Does Diablo
Like
4
StarCraft
have the hype behind it? I don't know.
It's fine. It's fine. Like
I
played it.
Such like a bad thing for me to
out,
think
like,
about Diablo. Like Diablo's supposed to be epic and like all consuming. That's
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, I never could find a class that like really scratched that itch for me in D4. Like I think D2 might have been the capstone of Diablo.
D1 had the best like lore and like storytelling.
Oh yeah. But it was so fucking hard to play.
Yeah. And then D2 definitely had like the whole like this is great class balance. These are
They figured out the
well-made
gameplay
classes.
in D2.
Yeah. I mean, sure you got to grind, but grinding is just what you do in those games.
I know this isn't exactly the opposite of what we're talking about, but I wouldn't mind a Warcraft 4.
Like an
that's
actual
what I'm saying,
RTS.
Like an actual RTS Warcraft game again.
No,
With a hero mode
you know.
in it too. What did they call that? It wasn't Hero's
Or just
Journey or
not.
whatever, but
We could just not do that because we have those. We have 1,000 MOBAs, and like
I guess
the
so.
the novelty is not having hero mode now.
Interesting. See, and I was thinking the exact opposite for like a StarCraft. I got so excited back in the day for StarCraft Ghost. They pumped it for years, and then it
Did that
went
ever come out?
nowhere. No,
I remember seeing trailers for it and being like hyped. Like,
it got really.
Well, I mean, that was the thing that Blizzard
really
up
close.
until the mid 2000s, like their thing was like, if a game isn't good enough, we're just not gonna finish it, and we're just gonna dump it. Like they made a, you remember those Zelda CDI games? You see the memes for?
Like the bad
They made a
Zelda
Warcraft
cartoon
one.
images, yeah.
Yeah, they made a Warcraft one. That was actually the prequel to Warcraft 2, I think. And there's actually plot points of Warcraft 3. There's actually plot points of some of the Warcraft games that don't make sense
without the lore.
knowing that.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, but they just said, no, this is terrible.
It's
We're not
canon.
releasing this. Yeah.
the lore is still canon, but the game. Mm-mm.
Never happened. What are you talking about?
So they used to have standards, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta think about the amount of money they're taking in. Like, they have to just... Everything has to sell. Like,
Well, I mean, you gotta, like... It's in the post-streaming age, nowadays, where you have, like, where $15 buys you the entire Netflix library. It's amazing that, like, MMOs still have this, like, $15 a month thing, and people are just like, yeah, that's great. I mean,
It's pretty
I don't
wild.
know. I played it. I played World of Warcraft until, like, just a couple years ago, so, there's that. But it is odd that that's something that they
Still
keep
a big
doing.
barrier for me to getting back into Final Fantasy. I love FF14.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've really
they
enjoyed
charge for it?
I like playing with. Yeah. So I'm just not spending that money. Like what is it? It's like $10 or $15 a month. I think it might be 15.
but that
Yeah,
adds up.
for
You know,
it. Somewhere
like, if you
between them.
get into it and you play it for like
Absolutely.
5 years, like...
Yeah.
That's what cut me off of
It's like $7.50, yeah, or however much. I don't know. Math.
The Knights of the Old Republic online one was like free, technically always free
until you get to certain story points.
Well, no, it's not. You can do them, but there's like a level cap where they say, "Hey, if you don't start paying, your EXP is down to like 10% from here on out."
Oh shit!
Yeah.
It's not that extreme, but it's extreme enough to the point where it's just like either you have no life and you grind forever, or you pay fess up.
Yeah, I had an account with that since like beta, so I don't actually know what the free to play was, unfortunately. But I did like that game.
No, it was really good.
The main stories are frequently
good. It was good, and then I hit that paywall. I was just like, "Oh, it'll be fine. I'll just grind a little bit." I'm like, "Oh no, it's extreme levels of grinding that it's like 8 hours."
Every couple of
grinding.
months, I look at that game and I'm like, "Do I want to try to get back into it?" But I just don't think it's going to hit the same
I mean,
way.
like that's the way I think about it. Is that like, what would it have cost me to buy it at the store back in the day? It would have been like $60. If I'm not willing to spend $60 on it, then
it's not worth it.
Maybe I don't want to play it. Yeah. So that's how I view those when like I have to play a free to play thing like Lord of the Rings Online. I just kind of bought some of the stuff that I wanted to play because I figured back in the day I would have paid that much to buy it at Target or Funkoland or whatever. But that's also like it gives me a hard limit where I'm like, okay, that's not buying anything.
I mean,
more.
Lord of the
that's
Rings
not what I would have done.
definitely had some great video games. Like
the Lord of the Rings Online still does hold up.
Like I mean,
played it like
I
in the
remember
last
playing
year,
like the PlayStation 2 games, and those were great. Like
the
movie ones,
the EA ones.
Yeah,
I think.
Those were
action
amazing
games. Yeah, really fun.
Yeah, there was that one that I don't even know if the EA made that, but it was just like a turn-based RPG that they just stole the combat system from Final Fantasy X for. What was that one called? It was like Lord of the Rings: The Third Age.
I didn't play that one.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Actually, I think I borrowed that from you.
Yeah, you might have. That one was actually hard.
Yeah, no, and the plot of it was like you were like the Shadow Fellowship.
Yes.
It was like the backup fellowship that was following the fellowship in case they screwed up.
You're the understudies.
So you had like
That's
instead
great.
of Gimli, you had like Bimli, and like Aragorn was like Baragorn or whatever.
And that was like a surprisingly difficult, well developed game. Like complete independent IP. Not completely independent, but.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing that was like intrusive about that was like when you'd get to like a place from the movie, they'd show you like the FMV of them at that place in the movie. But other than that, it was like
that's pretty dope.
Yeah, I think it was called The Third Age. That was
I have to check into that. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
You ask.
Do you guys want to take a slightly extended break?
And we're to clap on 1, 3, 2, 1. Sweet.
You guys never have the lethal weapon issue with on 1?
We have
because we did a whole plot point.
You forget that we before we started this podcast we had like no, we did like a year's worth of podcasts that we just kind of started and then dropped and then started. Like I have like
recorded
a whole
so many hours of things that never.
So you figured out all the little details of like the nuances.
Well, also like how to talk to each other so we don't sound like just like it's someone listening in on a TeamSpeak chat.
I still want to do the comic book one again now that we feel a little more comfortable talking into microphones. But it was just like 3 hours of breaking down a run of a comic book story.
I mean, that's fun.
Some of them were okay.
We do it a little bit better now.
Yeah, exactly. I think also like if we did like that would be something that we should do research about because then we could talk more about.
Maybe that's what we do for Halloween as a little bonus thing is Submariner. It's a really spooky run.
You should do
it's only 4
for
issues
Halloween.
or 6
You
issues.
gotta do like a John Carpenter
game.
I've never played the what is it called? Like They Will Run or something.
Oh yeah, no, he did make didn't they made
that one.
Yeah,
Thing
it's
game
called
too,
like
didn't
They Will Run or like Run. It's
I played the Thing video game actually. I completely forgot about that. That was really fun.
And that one has like a deep, like, it's actual, like, your choices matter. Like, it's not always 100% the same.
There's a really fun
infected.
Yes, it's a really fun NPC system to it because you start asking people. There's a trust system, so sometimes they will not give you like supplies if they think you might be infected, and if you let any of them fucking leave at any moment, like out of eyesight,
can't trust them.
You can't anymore because they are probably it.
Did you ever play that StarCraft mod of the thing? It was like
no, that sounds like a lot of fun though.
But it was like it'd be like, so you know,
just
like
out.
5 people would be like 5 people like on a map, and like I think it starts off with one person who's infected, and you have to go off and like complete all these tasks in like a limited amount of time. So you like split the group up, and it's just like if someone gets sent out with the infected person,
they're
gonna
definitely
get
not
it.
just
Among
then,
Us. Kind of like Among Us, but better. Like you don't have a bunch of 14-year-olds going sus.
Or mid 30s men saying sus.
Or just Nick shouting sus.
Or Daniel Craig. If you haven't seen Glass Onion.
I have not. I haven't seen Glass Onion. Is that...
You haven't? Oh, it starts one of the...
I've seen Knives Out, but I haven't seen...
Yeah, one of the earliest scenes is Daniel Craig in a bathtub playing Among Us. And
that's pretty solid.
Being like very confused with a bunch of older people also playing the game with him. And they're like, you just have to do the task. That was my impression of Daniel Craig's.
The Daniel Craig doing a Southern accent.
Yeah,
that sounds pretty good.
Southern in it.
Oh, he did a Southern in the first one.
Yeah. Did he?
That's true. He's the same character. He got you there.
I kind of remember him in that one vaguely. I think I was really high when I saw Knives Out.
I love.
I might not remember.
It was a very good like murder mystery.
Yeah,
which I love. Like good ones.
I remember feeling a lot like it had Clue vibes to it near the end.
Oh yeah, a lot of like But yeah, let's talk about. Have any of you seen the trailer for Witchfire?
I have seen a little bit about Witchfire. I'm very interested in.
They very recently released like a gameplay trailer.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not sure if it's because it's a non-permadeath.
Yeah.
I'm not.
So what is Witchfire?
I'm gonna be bad at explaining it because I only.
There's gonna be like a roguelite element to it too when you get through, right?
Yeah, kind of.
So
and it's
Mike, explain Witchfire to me and all the other people who haven't heard of Witchfire.
No, this is literally all I know about the game.
So, it's kind of alternate reality, not alternate, like alternate history. I would say like maybe late medieval. There's still like, you know, the Catholic Church, but there's also witches, which the Catholic Church like tries to keep at bay, and they have these witch hunters, which are called prayers, and they're like, you know, they're able to see and use magic, which, you know, in this world your average Joe cannot understand the arcane. You have to study and literally be imbued with witch fire, which is actual like the witch's like mana existence.
Right. So what kind of game is it?
It's a first-person action game, I think, is the idea.
Open world, like you can make your own choices. Like the only goal is to kill the witch.
Yeah, I think. I is it fully open world or is it that you go into really big areas? Okay,
it's fully. That's what the it's not. I don't even think. I think it's in beta. No, or maybe
is it already? Okay,
I'm not sure.
I know I was able to request access for testing through something for it.
I don't know.
Was that Amazon maybe? I haven't heard anything back though on it.
But I think it's like a very small development team from what I've heard. Like it's not a big name at all. And it looks, you know, like definitely has that roguelike aspect to it where like
Oh, it's the same people who made Vanishing of Ethan Carter.
Oh, really?
Yes, it is. Great game.
Oh, no kidding.
Great game.
Yeah.
I love that. That's a great.
Probably
maybe that's a Halloween episode.
Do that sometime. Yeah, that's a really good one.
Yeah, that might be a big boy episode.
That's definitely a big boy episode. Like this, because they just released a new one, right?
They
remastered
it for the.
I have it on the
Source
Epic
Engine?
Game Store.
No, Unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's definitely something.
What's that Twin Peaks game? It's not an actual Twin Peaks.
I'm in a Twin Peaks game?
No, it's not actually Twin Peaks, but it's like a Japanese like game that's very heavily inspired by Twin Peaks. You and I were talking about
Dante's Inferno. I don't know.
You don't mean
Yes, I think you're hitting on it right now.
It's not Japanese though.
It's not.
The guy. It's not Max Payne. Why can't I remember this?
It's not Max Payne at all. It's like you're a high school student in a
we're not
Colorado town, like literally.
What?
No, but yeah, I think it's the Pacific Northwest. Sorry. Frick. I gotta Google it, but I'm just gonna Google Japanese. Mizurna Falls.
I was thinking of Alan Wake.
Look up Mizurna Falls.
Also looking forward to the new Alan Wake game at some point here.
So they're making another like actual new game.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
It's been a while since they've actually released. Because this would be 4.
Yeah, well, they did.
The new one would be 4.
Of the Alan Wake? No, this will be the second. Well, if you count American Wasteland.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I would count
to me,
American Wasteland as its own. Like it was strong.
I guess I assumed that was like non-canonical kind of a thing, but I guess that isn't the case. I don't know. I guess non-canonical doesn't really mean much in the world of Alan Wake.
No.
If
it's written down anywhere, it's canonical.
While you're on this, do you check the?
Yeah, we share
chat?
Stuff. Yeah, I do. I don't know.
I'm just curious because I linked it to.
I'm on that. I'm on that wiki. Once you said it.
Wow, was this translated?
Interesting.
I'm pretty sure I've seen a live play of it. So yes.
Oh, it's a fan translation.
Okay, Japanese game. Yeah.
And it's literally it's heavily based off of pigs.
Well, a lot of that horror from that. I mean, you don't look at Silent Hill and don't see Twin Peaks influences there either.
So when did the first Silent Hill come out? And when did Twin Peaks come out?
I want to say 90. Twin Peaks, the first episode was like, I want to say 92.
93, 92?
Yeah, and then Silent Hill's quite a bit after that. But yeah, no, I mean, this would be interesting. I mean, I would be totally interested in playing something that wasn't released outside of Japan just because I haven't played anything from that. I mean, like, I think that interests me a lot because I feel that I have a lot of fondness for the era of PlayStation, and having something new from the PlayStation
that you
era
had no ability to ever touch it. Yeah,
exactly. So there's no way it's going to be familiar to me in any way. It is interesting to me.
But I also feel like it's probably a hard one to actually get like a ROM for or something like that.
Oh, I don't know. I mean, if it's got a fan translation, there's probably.
So, about that kind of stuff.
He knows better than me.
I mean,
you literally had to link me the Gex thing, but I just piggybacked off that to get the other.
Hey, we all have, just for the record, very legitimate copies of Gex that we copied onto files.
I paid $100
through an emulator.
I don't, but
to Gex
I
himself.
at least rented it enough as a kid. The third one, not this one, but point is, my conscience is clean.
So I've got a quiz for y'all if you're interested.
Ooh.
Yeah. So this one's gonna be I'm not really gonna keep score,
bathrooms? Or dogs you can pet.
No. This is gonna be a little loosey goosier. So I don't really have a name for this one, but basically what's gonna happen is I'm gonna give you a description of a game and a description of a musical artist.
Okay.
And you have to tell me how that would work, like what the name would be. So, for example, if I were to say a platforming dolphin joins a moody 80s English alt band, or not English, a moody 80s alt rock band, the answer would be Echo the Dolphin and the Bunnymen.
So we're at the.
Oh boy!
This is like an NPR.
This one is for Marcus, since I famously am bad at band names in general.
I am not the best, but I'm upset. You kind of stole the idea I gave you last night.
That's pretty good.
What
badly explaining the game.
Oh yeah. No. Yeah, I am inadvertently doing that. But,
I apologize to the listener because I feel like Mike and I are just gonna just look at you and go, I don't know. I'm sorry.
All right.
No, okay, we got this.
Let's see.
Can Mike? Is it like a challenge between Mike and I, or like are we working together?
No. I mean, if you guys want to keep score, you guys.
I think we should just work together.
Okay, that works. Speaking of working together, How about a game where you work together to fight off hordes of zombies?
Left 4 Dead.
With Jello Biafra.
With what?
With Jello Biafra.
I'm gonna say this is Zombies Ate My Neighbors with Jello Biafra, because I have no clue what Jello Biafra. Do you know what Jello Biafra is, Marcus?
I think he's speaking Swedish again, and he's confused.
I hope not.
But I want to think what he's really talking about is Left 4 Dead.
Oh, that would be a closer
and
one.
then
Yeah.
Jello Biafra. I'm not getting the musical reference on that, but I'm trying to think of like anything musical that has left or 4 in it.
Let's think.
Jello.
What's another clue I can give you?
All I'm hearing is Jello, and I'm thinking the Cosby intro music as the theme for the game. Is that? Do I win?
No. Okay. So Jello Biafra is the lead singer of the Dead Kennedys. So the answer was Left 4 Dead Kennedys.
I didn't know his name. No, so you're doing deep cuts on not even they're not obscure. Yeah. All right, so let's do another. See how this one goes. I got the Left 4 Dead, so we get half a point.
So a 70s funk group teams up with a raccoon to commit a series of robberies.
Sly Cooper, the 70s funk group,
and the Family Stone.
Oh, Sly and the Family Stone.
The Family Stone.
Hey. 1.5 points, Arvid. What's up? You're supposed to be the quiz master, not the quiz loser.
All right, how about this? A French house duo is trapped in a steampunk frozen Arctic.
Steampunk frozen Arctic is getting me, but I'm thinking Air is the band.
It's Frostpunk is the game.
Or Daft Punk. So Daft Frost. I don't know.
Frost
Daft Punk or Daft Frost Punk. Yeah. Either would be.
I was thinking Air. Yeah.
Air would have been. I think Air would have been too hard, kind of.
Well, they're not as.
I just know how much he's played Frostpunk.
No, that's true.
I knew it was Frostpunk.
Yeah, that's fair.
Well, we're killing it.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, you guys
I've had a good amount of podcast juice.
Got me all lubed up and ready.
An art rock band famous for their giant eyeballs.
The Residents
are trapped in a house with zombies.
Resident Evil, like the Residents Evil.
The Residents Evil. Yeah.
You know what? It's so funny. Is like I've been
nice.
So I have this theory that the Residents are ZZ Top on their board.
So that they have to have the giant heads so they could hide their beards.
Well, I mean, think about it. No. Look at ZZ Top. Those beards are fake.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
And they toured with a zoo for a while. Like, there's no way they're not into, like, experimental, like, art. Like,
well, I knew they started off as, like, a psychedelic rock album.
No, it's actually weird. Like, stuff. You and I, like, share music all the time, but we've never talked about the Residents together.
That's true. That's true. That happened coincidentally.
Yeah. Jailhouse Rock.
Although that also could just have been something that like one of your brothers listened to.
Remember Remy?
Oh God, I hated him.
He was just like a skinny you at the time.
Maybe that's why I hated him.
Literally are wearing his facial hair right now. He had that exact same setup.
I don't want to hear.
He did have an eyebrow piercing, which I was just like, buddy, chill. But yeah, he's the one that taught me about the Residents.
Okay, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
He's a cool guy. I think you guys just were like probably too much alike. You know?
Exactly. I mean, like we both were self-loathing versions of each other, so we just projected that onto.
No, he never spoke ill of you at all.
Nice. Yeah.
He probably doesn't hate himself as much then. He's probably got a healthier psyche than I do. All right. An Armenian nu metal band.
Okay, System of a Down.
And
sorry.
And the game that birthed the immersive sim genre.
System Shock of a Down.
There you go.
Oh,
They
look
just
at
released.
you.
Really? Didn't they just release like a System Shock 2 like
They
review or
did.
something?
Mm-hmm.
They did.
I haven't heard anything about it, but I've always, I'm a huge immersive sim
Looks
guy.
okay.
Those are my favorite
Yeah.
kind of games.
Yeah, no, I actually haven't played any of those in a long time. I wouldn't mind going back to them at some point. All right,
Man, we're killing
let's
this
find
quiz.
some. Yeah, you
This
guys
is
are so
honestly
worthy.
like
Yeah.
I've listened to pretty much all your episodes, minus the ones I'm on. But I'm pretty sure this is like the one quiz where like
You could actually get the
Actually,
answers right.
I actually think the last one I might have nailed, like except for one answer, but it's fine. Maybe it was
Yeah.
two.
No, you
oh
did.
wow, a
You
little
did.
show off over here.
I know.
Okay. Australian new wave band searches the galaxy for its lost timepieces.
So I'm thinking Tame Impala. Are they Australian?
Lost timepieces. I don't know. That makes me feel like
Is
Doctor
Tame
Who, but that's
Impala
not.
from Australia?
There's not a game.
Well, first we got to figure out the band.
Well, I'm figuring
Australian
out the
new
game.
band. All right. Looking
So-
for their lost timepieces.
Australian new wave band.
Phil Collins is an Australian, right? That's not
New wave.
right.
Phil Collins is not new wave.
No.
Is he?
I mean, new wave got thrown around and it put on a lot of people, but I mean, depends on your definition. I think new wave of as a genre is one of the least useful definitions for music, because it basically just means white people music that wasn't disco for.
Okay, so you're giving us an era of the 80s then.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Australian from the 80s, AC/DC. Is Lord from Australia?
80s. I think she might be New Zealander.
Also, I don't think she was around in the 80s.
No, she wasn't even born in the 80s.
So we singled that the band is coming from the 80s.
Yes, that's definitely true.
Australian New Wave from the 80s. Oof.
I don't. No, Pretenders wouldn't be.
New Wave.
I don't know.
Alright, so let's think about the game.
Might
See
be
if we can-
Australian, but not New Wave.
See if we can backtrack from the game. And so the game part was
They searched the galaxy. I mean, assuming that this is the game part, which I'm not telling you it is.
Arvid,
the
we
full
know.
clue was searching galaxy for their missing timepieces.
So that's not Chrono Cross.
I've never played Chrono Cross. I've only played Trigger, so I couldn't tell you
I'll
that
give you
one.
a hint.
Yeah.
We actually talked about the game on this podcast.
That doesn't help me. I bounce around
We're
to a
drinking
lot of
podcast
topics.
juice.
No, I mean it is the title of an episode of a podcast. It is a
God
title
damn.
game.
I'm not going to look it up because I'm a gentleman.
Also, I don't remember all the games we've done on this.
All right, you guys give up.
Was it a recent one?
Because
Because I don't think you have any like recent ones. or like
I
that.
got this. It's A Hat in Time. A Hat in Time is the game. It's going to be Hat in
Men in
Time,
Hats.
'cause- There it is. We fucking got it. Fuck you, Arvid.
Hey,
Men
Arvid.
in Hats
Suck it.
About Time. Yeah.
Was that what the game is about? I've never played it or heard it.
Yeah, you had to find.
It just
like,
looked like
your
a
missing-
Yeah.
Mario 64 like clone, kind of.
It
It was
is.
kind of that too.
Yeah. Except
But
you're
also, like
getting
the stars
time
were like
pieces.
hourglasses, essentially.
A hat in time. A hat in time.
The famous
All right,
theme song from the game. Yes.
Well, I was talking about the chimney sweeps from Virginia that you should all know from the radio. Step in
Jesus
time.
Christ.
Step in time.
I had
Chimney-
actually gotten that out of my brain.
No,
I've been
I
away for
berated.
nearly a decade.
No, the moment I heard that episode, I berated Arvid. It's like, you guys missed out on the greatest thing you could have done.
God.
That's true. I know you need to find a way to work into the dump somewhere into one of our podcasts.
Dump, 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 dump. They're gone, I think.
That doesn't surprise me.
They were going out of business for like 35 years. So.
I know, right? All right. So, how about Lou Reed and pals go skateboarding?
Louis.
Let's see.
Velvet Underground. Velvet Tony Hawk's Underground.
Hold on.
I'll give it to you. Tony Hawk's Velvet Underground.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
That's what you call his bush.
My brain goes
All right.
way too back, and the original skateboard game I think of is the NES classic Skate or Die. That's where,
No, you
where I
don't.
go.
No, you don't. Literally 0 people played it. They sold 0 copies. You're lying.
I own it. Yeah. I can go get it right now.
All right. Early 90s pioneering hip-hop group fight demons with swords competitively.
Early 90s hip hop group. NWA, no. They're like 80s. Public Enemies 80s. Demons with swords. Is so many games. So many games.
So many games.
I know.
It's insane.
But
I mean, specifically, if you're talking about demons with swords, that could be Onimusha. Onimusha was specifically...
I will give you a hint in that it's a fighting game specifically.
It's a
like
fighting game.
Like a Mortal Kombat style fighting game?
Mm-hmm.
I don't...
Soul
Tekken, wasn't that kind of the...
Tekken.
Yeah.
But think about a band, a hip-hop group from the early 90s. So you got Tekken, Mortal Kombat,
Soul Calibur's closer.
Soul Calibur. But Soul what?
Who do we know? Right.
KLS? Who's that guy? KLS. No, he was in a group. He's a group.
Yeah,
group.
yeah.
I'm trying to think
Fuck,
of
I feel like we're so close now.
But we're on the...
No, don't nod at us, Arvid.
While you stroke your Van Dyke.
We're working on
That's the only
this.
reason I grew this.
Oh, shit.
I'm John Blank.
I am, too. I'm going to have to...
Answer is De La Soul Calibur.
God damn it.
I had that in the back of my head. I swear to God.
So
I know you
I
did.
know. But I was just like, no. Good one. You got us. You finally got us.
All right. British psychedelic rock outfit fights in an alternate history in blimp Zeppelin battles.
So maybe King Crimson, Pink Floyd, the Beatles, kind of, the Rolling Stones. Not really psychedelic.
No, but all of a
Zeppelins.
sudden I thought that's when I started thinking it's the was it the Animals had the cover with the flying? No, I'm thinking completely different thing. That's not going to be it.
And the Animals weren't really psychedelic. They were more like hard rock with like a little touch of like the...
Well, everything.
I just was thinking of that one cover with all the flying. What was that? It's not called the Flying Circus, but it's like they've got all the big blimp like pigs and.
That's Pink Floyd.
Everywhere.
Pigs or animals.
Oh, it
animals.
is. You're right. Yep.
Yeah.
I blended it into a completely different band with a similar name to
No,
the title.
I try and listen to Pink Floyd's Pigs through different ones at least once a day. Just because the Dish Machine kind of sounds like the intro to it.
Oh, that's interesting.
Nice.
But psychedelic 60s, you said specifically.
I didn't think I said 60s. I said British psychedelic.
Okay. I was thinking 60s. Oh, so it could be any time. But granted, psychedelic is basically encapsulated within the 60s, 80s.
I associate it with like this group with the late 60s, early 70s. Probably more the early 70s.
I want to say King Crimson is the band. The Eyeballs. I'm trying to think of the video game about Zeppelins.
There's also planes.
Alt history. I mean, I don't.
Is it
think
one
it's
of
gonna
those
be
like
BioShock
early
Infinite or
'90s
anything,
PC like fighters?
No, I mean, there was another one that came out on the version I played came out in the early 2000s on the Xbox.
early 2000s.
Ooh, I was not that generation. Like I had an N64 up until like a PS3, and then like I wasn't. I had the PC still, so I didn't really fucking care about any of that shit.
It might have come out on PC. Anyway, the answer is King Crimson Skies.
Oh,
I
god
knew it was
damn it, I
King
used to
Crimson.
play Crimson Skies. Fuck.
I'm glad.
I did not think about that being like battles as much. I did a lot of the flying, like races and, all that shit.
I never took you for a King Crimson man, Arvid.
Hey man, I'm a multifaceted human being.
You know what I always say about King Crimson? They're a band before their time, and it hasn't happened yet. Maybe in like 50 years, people will really appreciate him.
I don't know. I kind of
One person
I like the better than
does.
Pink Floyd.
I mean, I was telling you literally last night about how I taught ketamine girl about King Crimson.
Yeah. It's funny because I wrote this like weeks ago for a different episode.
Man, time is a flat circle, and apparently it's only a week long.
Me it is.
Okay. So last one.
Aw.
This one's gonna be kind of a hard
I'm
one.
down for this one.
Okay.
Ooh, blue in the face.
This
Sorry.
relies a lot on a music video. A sad breakdancer dances in a post-apocalyptic gambling city.
Okay, so it's Fallout New Vegas as the game.
For some reason, I'm thinking Jamiroquai. So hard right now, but
I don't think Jamiroquai.
It's hard not to
Fallout
think of
is the
Jamiroquai
answer.
sometimes.
but there's a lot, like so many games are apocalypse, like post-apocalypse.
It's not going to be Fallout Boy New Vegas, is it?
Is there
they have a
breakdancing
good
in
one
any?
for that.
I don't know.
Fallout
Is there a music video in one of them where he's sad breakdances?
I only
a
know,
sad
like, the
person
bullet one.
breakdances. Sad boy Fallout
Well, it's
Boy.
not Fallout Boy.
God
but that would
damn
have been
it.
a fun one.
God damn it! I felt really good, like I had
So
aced
a
that.
depressed breakdancer.
Yeah. I mean,
And
for
you
whatever,
saying
maybe
it's
this
based
was
off the music video?
Yeah, it was a music video that, in my mind, was everywhere for like a year, probably like 2000. I want to say.
Is there a
God.
Daft Punk music video with like the dog-headed guy?
I would say that this
Does he-
artist was frequently mistaken for Daft Punk.
Okay. So Aphex Twin? No, not Aphex Twin. Oof. Might have stumped us. Are we... Can we get a hint
This one was hard too.
on the... Is the Fallout correct? Would you get a hint and then like...
Yes, Fallout New Vegas is correct.
Alright.
Okay. Felt like it was. I was just trying to rack my brain and see if there were other post-apocalyptic gambling cities prominent in a video game. There probably are, but...
Go through the alphabet in your head, Mike. Like A, B, C... like, trust me, Mike.
A.
Are you telling
Yeah,
us
let me
it's A?
brute
Is
force
it A?
this. Hang on.
Oh. I thought you were helping. You
got about a
I thought
year.
you were the quiz helper.
I'm thinking.
Yeah. Sad.
Hey, I came out with Fallout New Vegas. This one's on you. You're the music guy. I'm not.
I mean,
music
in
guy.
all fairness, like I can remember this video vividly. I have a lot of trouble remembering the name of the
Would
band
you
and the
give
song,
me
so-
an era, like, of the music video?
Oh yeah, I mean, this is like early 2000s electronic.
Is
kind of,
it-
like
Oh,
house music? I would specify
Oh.
even maybe kind of like chill house.
okay. I was
Fall
going
of
to
the
ask if
House
it
of
was the
Usher.
Alien Ant Farm guy.
No, that guy's great. I love him. But there's no sad breakdancing?
Maybe in the Annie, Are You Okay?
No,
music
that's
video
beautiful
you do.
breakdancing. It's not sad. It's
Beautiful.
it's what breakdancing is supposed to be.
I would say this is beautiful breakdancing as
But
well.
you called
It's
it
very
sad.
It's. I
Wait,
mean,
is he like-
he's
is it like a-
sad. He is a sad man breakdancing for his lost love.
This isn't the
The complications
meme
are not
video
helping.
with the music video with Christopher Walken doing a crazy dance, is it? That's not. He wasn't
No,
breakdancing.
but this is also probably would have been
That's
around
Fat
that
Boy
same time period.
Slim.
Yeah.
Like Fat Boy New Vegas.
No,
I mean, that's
not
a
Fat Boy
cute
Slim.
name, but...
I have to remember Fat Boy Slim for later on. Maybe I can find some way for another quiz.
I'll
The
take
answer
it.
was
Yeah, I'll take L.
Fallout New Death in Vegas. Death in Vegas being
I don't know.
the artist.
I don't know Death in Vegas.
I've
I will
never-
show you this video real quick.
You're gonna have to.
I don't want to
You.
cry, apparently.
I'm hoping I'm gonna look this video and it's like 82,000 views because in my mind this was
I mean, 2 out of 3 people have
oh,
never heard of Death in Vegas.
Oh no, I did this to myself. I've confused the artist with another artist.
We win that one by
we get the faulty point.
I meant to say Dirty Vegas, not Death in Vegas. Fuck. Dirty Vegas is who I meant.
I still don't know who that is.
Fallout.
So you won.
Fallout New Dirty Vegas, which still
sounds like the worst porno.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I guess we'll just do some bad pod while you guys watch a few seconds of this video.
Okay.
Man, you're just gonna edit
react.
all that last quiz question out.
Yep.
No, I'm not.
Dirty Vegas. Mike's
about
to. Mike looks like he's in a porno, and I'm hearing the music. So
I'm multitasking while I record this.
Oh no, Arvid, I have seen this. I have seen this. Yeah,
I'm glad.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. I wouldn't say the context of the story is what is sad. Him breakdancing is not sad.
He's a sad man breakdancing.
He works. He works in middle management, and this is his passion. Obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, you know, the loneliness of the salary man, right?
Jesus.
Anyway, okay. I knew that was going to be a deep cut, so I wasn't going to actually expect you guys to remember that. I was just kind of hoping someone would remember that video, and it wasn't.
That would have been amazing.
But I also screwed myself over by
what's the email address?
Because I do.
Because we want people to email in if they remembered, if they knew the answer to that.
email thesavestatepodcast@gmail.com if you remember Days Go By.
If you were like,
Dirty
what is
Vegas.
Arvid talking about? It's Dirty Vegas.
We obviously know this.
So
I assume you are a member of the band Dirty Vegas.
Actually,
hey, thanks for listening.
I got a pee real quick.
Okay. Well, you're gonna have a little bit of a editing task ahead of you on this one.
Usually we're about 2 hours.
Oh, I guess with the
2
little
hours
breaks
with
and
3
stuff, you're
tracks.
right. Yeah, that won't be too bad then, but still.
No, exactly.
Yeah. Well, at least you got one in the hole already then, right?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully I can get all moved in and just, make myself a pot of coffee and just plow through it all without interruptions and stuff.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I don't mean to do that. Oh, gosh. That is really fucking red, man.
I don't know. It's like some sort of space.
It's like
drug.
bright.
It's like
bright.
that one episode
Jesus.
of that. Was it Cowboy Bebop with the drug they take in the eyes?
Yeah. That's a good one.
The one anime I can reference.
The one. We'll get you on some others at some point here.
Yeah. I can. Akira. Yep, that's about it.
Akira's good, though.
Yeah, I have that shit on Blu-ray.
I really want to make a pee-pee joke, but it's gonna sound racist because I'm gonna do Jar Jar Binks.
I don't want to know how that's.
I'm about to
Let's just move on. All right. Oh. It's a good album too. That album.
Yeah.
I would definitely,
I'm
if you
enjoying
like
it.
that kind of music.
I'm enjoying it.
I would recommend it. It's the album Dirty Vegas by Dirty Vegas. Unfortunately, they do not have a song called Dirty Vegas on their album Dirty Vegas by Dirty Vegas.
That does seem
Those are the
weird.
things
That seems like a very much
what
thing
am
of
I-
the time, right? Is that you would have your band name as a song on your featured album, like your first
Well, I
album.
mean,
that you
Bad
put out.
Religion's first song was the song Bad Religion on their album Bad Religion.
Mhm.
So,
They followed the rules.
yeah. And then you iterate from there. Everyone knows that Van Halen's first song was called Van Halen.
Van Halen. That's it.
Well,
That's how it works. If you're a good
I
band,
mean, Led
that's
Zeppelin
how
had
you do
5
it.
tries. They had 5 albums that were just called Led Zeppelin. They could
Led
have stuck
Zeppelin,
on
that's
any.
true. Every time they had a whole day of fucking meetings trying to figure out what they were going to call the next album. And they were like, fuck it, let's just put a number in front of it and call it Led Zeppelin again. It's fine. Whatever.
No, he did
Except when they
it for
forgot
like
to do that.
a few metaphysical graffiti. He's not.
They did.
Houses of the Holy and about
They
Coda. I can name all the Led Zeppelin albums too.
Yes.
I like
actually
the
really
Zepp,
like Coda.
bro. All right.
Coda's
All right. What is the name? Samson?
I got the
from
BBC sessions as well.
fucking Venture Bros.
Actually, I do have several Venture Brothers posters I have yet to
Venture
put up.
Bros.
He has
They
Icarus
brought
tattooed
it
on his
back
back as well.
recently, right?
Without the
I have
wings,
not
just
seen
as an
it.
homage to the team.
I haven't seen. I'm
Yeah, there's a new
afraid
movie
to watch-
that came out.
I tried to watch that new Meatwad Aqua Teen Hunger Force
Aqua-
movie.
Oh,
Aqua
Aqua
Teen?
Teen?
The new thing? The new movie
Aqua
that came out?
Teen.
I haven't seen it
Aqua
yet.
Teen does not age well, or at least I'm aged out of Aqua Teen. I don't know which.
It was because they
But,
tried to be so like modern with it. Like one of the characters
Yeah.
is definitely a Jeff Bezos guy,
Yeah, like
or
it
Elon
was.
Musk.
Yeah,
Mix, yeah.
yeah. I don't know if the creators are necessarily.
Even still involved at this point.
Yeah, who knows? That's one of those. That's one of those things I know. Like there is some stuff from like that Adult Swim era that I'll definitely return to for a long time, like Venture Brothers and home movies and shit. But like
Oblongs was good.
Aqua
I liked
Teen.
the Oblongs.
No, Aqua Teens,
Yeah.
early Aqua Teens. Chef's Kiss.
Sure.
no, I
Oh,
mean,
yeah, yeah.
they're-
The-
like,
what
I
they're-
can still
they're-
look at those ones and be like, oh yeah, this is actually good. But I can't really enjoy it that much because I like the only bits of it I know that I'm enjoying are like my nostalgia for it.
Yep.
There were some other ones like that. Xavier Renegade Angels, another one that
Oh,
for some
Jesus.
reason
That one was
I
always
remember
one
way
that
too
I'd wake up in the middle of the night and see and be like, this is like coming out of sleep. Those images on the screen are, they
and that
really
dialogue.
fuck you up.
Honestly, though, I think that might be like some of the most prophetic humor of all that stuff. 'cause,
Apparently-
I mean,
Adult Swim
Meme culture.
is like
Yeah.
responsible for anime coming to America, though.
oh,
Like
certainly
they were
a lot
like
of
the
it.
first
Midnight
to
Run,
like
yeah.
actually air it on U.S. television.
Well, it depends on what you mean by anime, because like
Yeah, Hayao
I have
Miyazaki
old
was
tapes
around,
from like
yeah.
no, but I mean like Sailor Moon and Speed
Pokemon.
Racer and Astro Boy.
Speed Racer
Yeah.
is like such
Yeah.
entry level anime that is almost like not even considered anime.
Yeah, no,
you know?
I know, but there was always going to be, and like you forget that like there was the whole like Power Rangers pipeline. Like some company was going to pick that up at some point,
Yeah.
if it wasn't Adult Swim. But you know they did.
They
you know,
definitely
I
like
certainly remember.
pushed for like the deeper anime cuts.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know that we would have gotten like
Sexy
Fooly
animes.
Cooly in English without
Yeah.
without Adult Swim.
You haven't seen Fulu Cooley though, right? I still need to show
Me?
you that.
No, I have. I just
you
don't
have?
remember. I
You've
just
never seen Fully
it
Cooley?
was like
Alfred?
a. No, I have. I just don't remember
Okay.
much of it. Like I just remember it being very.
That was like how you and I
Artsy.
connected. It was like Fully Cooley and
No.
Cowboy Bebop.
Yeah, no, definitely Cowboy Bebop. But I don't. I didn't. I mean, like
Like for me, I didn't give a frick about anime until I read Fully Cooley. And I was like, oh, maybe anime can be cool. And then someone's like, you should check out Cowboy Bebop as well. I was like, oh, wow, it
It's
can
also
be
fucking
cool.
cool. It's probably Jimmy since
I
he
still
had
have-
all
I
of
still
No,
the
it
have
wasn't. This was
Cowboy.
years before I met
Okay.
any of you guys. Yeah.
no, I stole actually your Cowboy Bebop man, guys.
That's fine. Those are... I definitely got the better end when you gave me the Little Nemo book.
Oh shit!
Well, that was a
is
present.
Yeah. It's got me laid
That's a
too many times.
good. I
It
bet.
really has.
man. It was an art college in fucking Windsor McKay. You know?
That's from it.
There you go, man.
Nice. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's either really good or like
One
I
of the
get creeped on real
few
hard about
cartoons that
one.
wasn't objectively racist from that.
It wasn't. I'm like, he's very, very, very.
Yeah, no, it's that was a good pull.
Deep cut.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. You know, I got this guy at work, short, ginger, hyper redneck, but not in like the racist way at all, but just like from Newport News redneck, if you know what I mean when I say Newport News redneck. But he loves to joke. Like he's like a super silly dude, but drops the N word a lot. And He says, "How's my culture? I grew up Newport News." I'm like, well, you got that fake country accent. But like, he loves to go either, "Oh hell yeah," for no reason to just like break the tension, or like he'll love to go, "My gumdrop buttons." Because he's like a short ginger, so we kind of call him the gingerbread man. Yeah,
sure,
like,
I get it.
Oh shit!
Yeah,
Like okay, like Shrek. I was lost. Okay.
"Not my gumdrop." No, he's honestly legally he cannot drink for 90 days. He has an ankle bracelet.
Solid.
The story just gets better and better.
But like before that, he was like he'd be getting wild at work. Getting like. He's been there the longest out he cooks. So, like, he's the most used to the open bar and taking full advantage of it. And he goes straight liquor. He doesn't mess around with that weak beer shit. But
it's like when I was getting my end of work drink at the weekend pub and doing those Long Islands. But
Long
I'd be
Islands,
take out the
filler.
Coca-Cola and still fill it up all the way.
But and he's a very much an open book. Like, he doesn't care about, like, embarrassment in his life. This man told us there's this one day when we thought he was going to go to jail for 3 months. So we, like, had a big, like, hangout at the end of that shift. And it ended with...
Going away party for him?
Yeah. And it ended... Yeah. At the end of the night was just himself, the KM, and me. And he was telling us about the run from the cops that he did. Kind of got him in all this trouble. And... I mean, the story itself isn't that interesting, but every 5 minutes he said, "In my Rick and Morty crack." This is talking about running around like the ocean in Buckrow in my Rick and Morty cracks. And he's like, he literally believes to this day that the cops stole him. Because at one point they came off. And he's like, "I never came up in court. Where's my Rick and Morty cracked?" And I wish you could see. I should art a picture.
You should record him saying that. That'd be an amazing sample.
Oh yeah, no. Every time I see him, I'm just like, "Man, where are your Rick and Morty cracks?"
Oy. All right. So did anyone have time to play video games this week?
I did
besides
not.
Gex?
No, I haven't played a single game outside of the assigned homework. Yeah.
Homework? I mean, you guys assign it to yourself.
That's true. Self-assigned.
I don't. I mean, like, how does the hierarchy work here? Like, who's the boss boy? There's only two of you. Is it a 50-50 or is it like a 70-30?
Depends.
Who's the top? Who's the bottom?
We try and share things.
I think we like to, have a little rotation going there.
I make him do the things I don't want to do, and I do the things that I don't want him to do.
Yes, exactly. And wise decision to do it that way too.
Arvin should be like, "Hi, welcome to the podcast."
Yeah, I'm glad that I have I waited 13 years to start a podcast.
13 years ago? You were thinking about one?
Well, when I was 20, I probably would have made a pretty piss poor podcast. It would have been mostly just complaining about how George Lucas stole all of Akira Kurosawa's best shots for Star Wars or some shit.
I mean, people love that kind of stuff. People love the hate.
Yeah, but I got all that out of me, man. I worked in healthcare finance for too long to hate anymore.
And he just spent every day going around his coworkers and telling them all his thoughts on how George Lucas was a fucking hack.
You're not too far off.
Jesus.
All right.
Arvin, what you been playing?
I actually haven't played. I've been playing Civ.
I noticed that. Apparently you have to log into a bunch.
Well, no, it's also because I close my laptop and I have to go do a thing, or the dog's pissed on something, or there's a box falling over, or I have to run to the grocery store or whatever, and then I open it up again, and then I close it, and I open it, so it thinks I'm logging in and out of Steam constantly.
Yeah.
But that's all I've been able to do, really. Not that interesting stuff. Did you play anything, Marcus, besides Gex?
I tried to play Breath of Fire 4 or 3.
Breath of
I want to
Fire?
say 4.
Breath of Fire?
Breath of Fire, yeah. I had those issues with the save state within the game, so like when I restarted, I was just like, so I love JRPGs, but every JRPG starts with a very long period before you get to the first save point. They always do.
Yeah.
A lot of
That's true.
building up the world, introduced to like 18 different fucking characters. And then I was just like, I can't go through that again. I can't go through an hour again just to start playing and then not know I can save again.
Yeah.
And then
That's
we got
true.
Parappa the Rapper.
There you go.
So,
Don't
I
worry
mean,
about that.
loved it, but it was so hard that I had to go to the menu and switch it to easy mode. And at that point, I felt like I'm just kind of watching the game be played, you know?
Right. Like
Rather than,
passively, occasionally pressing. some
Yeah, and that
buttons,
like
but,
kind of ruined the experience. Just like, yeah, the songs are
You
great,
feel,
and
you
like
feel
the story,
time
like
slipping away.
they definitely put a lot of effort into this game. There's a reason it has such a cult following. But it's just like, I'm not playing it on the right platform to really enjoy the game.
Yeah, but also I wonder how much of like the way we feel about Parappa the Rapper is just its novelty. Like,
I mean,
what
it
was
wasn't
at
the
time, there was
first ever
nothing
like beat
that.
game, but it definitely like mastered that idea so well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it also it was like the presentation was
The
like
art
so.
style, yeah.
Yeah, I mean it was hip.
It was, yeah.
I mean, like it was actually trying to be something interesting. It was trying to like.
Didn't want to look
it
like
was not
everything
that
else.
different from. Yeah, and it wasn't that different from what you would have expected to find like in a a art like a art school.
I mean, like honestly,
animation
like
kind of a thing.
kids are still dressing like Parappa to this day.
Well, they started like Parappa again. I think
Like they're wearing those Carhartt beanies way too tall.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, I'm just waiting for the tracksuits and Kangol hats to come back.
It's coming.
You're in the right.
It's
You're
coming.
in the right region for that. Like you're gonna see it first, and then it'll wave over to here.
I don't know about that. There's a different. I meant like it's a different vibe here. Also, we don't have that many. People don't really wear tracksuits here. Everyone wears like the same clothes. It's impossible to tell anyone apart in this country. Tracksuits would be interesting.
I like a good tracksuit.
Anyway.
I mean, you literally get the mustache for it. You just need to start
Which
smoking
of
cigarettes
us are
and
you
squatting.
talking about now?
Oh, you, Mike. You just said kind of want a tracksuit.
Yeah.
True.
I was just telling him he needs to go as Karna for Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just start squatting. Just
Yeah.
learn how to
I think
like
that's
hold
the
that
right
for 30
way.
minutes.
I mean,
while
my
you
knees are shit
chain
these
smoke
days.
10
but,
cigarettes and like drink half a fifth of vodka. Go da.
Yeah,
da.
that's just a Friday. I can
Well,
do
that's
that.
a Tuesday.
That's easy.
All right.
Ah,
Well, I guess
What's
it's
the outro?
It's about time to wrap it up.
I think
Do,
so.
Yeah.
do,
We don't really have an outro. We just kind of stumble over like a bunch of.
What is that from?
Um,
That is from
Robot
Dawn of the
Chicken.
Dead.
No, it's Robot
Well,
Chicken.
it
It
is.
is Robot Chicken.
But I think it's also in Dawn of the Dead.
It could be also Dawn of the Dead.
Now
Like,
we
it's like
can't.
the
now
mall
we're,
theme?
Now we're done.
Is it Robot Chicken riffing on Dawn of the Dead this whole time?
Oh,
But
maybe.
then also the Gorillas. Have you ever realized how much the Gorillas samples the Dawn of the Dead series?
Yeah.
Yeah,
no,
a
Like
lot.
you know
Yeah.
the hello, hello, hello. That's the intro to Dawn of the Dead 3, or whatever that
Yeah.
one's called.
Also,
Night
like,
of
was
the
it
Dead.
the beat for Clint Eastwood was just like the built-in one for this Casio?
Yes. No, Clint Eastwood is. Boom, boom, boom.
No, sorry, Dirty
Yeah,
Harry.
Dirty Harry.
No, it's Clint Eastwood. Yeah, Clint Eastwood.
One of
the
them
that's
is
just
a straight
Casio
up-
built in.
Is a straight up just like musical overture from a certain scene in the Dawn of the Dead.
Interesting. That must be.
Yeah.
No,
that's
he
right.
like if you look into it, like you realize like holy shit, some of the Gorilla songs are
Well,
just George
Well,
R.
like half of Daft Punk songs are old Italian horror
Mamma
movies
mia.
too. Like,
Gonna eat the zombie.
you're Italian. You're allowed to do that.
I'm actually not.
Yeah.
I took a DNA test.
No, you are.
Wait, so you're both false Italians this whole time?
Everyone's
Yeah,
false
mostly
Italian.
Irish and
Everyone. I think the thing was people just emigrated out through Italy, so they just got stamped with Italian. And,
Yep.
Uh,
That makes sense. Like, well, the boat says you came from Italy. That's where it left from, so you must be.
And then your
I know the exact boat. Like most of my family members came out of, and they came from Scotland, I think. So, but also they were technically from Russia, I guess, because Finland was part of Russia at the time, and they don't like say like Russian on them. Anyway, you guys are weird, and your false Italian heritage. Did you just do that so you could have lasagna on Thanksgiving? Was that the whole thing? Like someone was sick of making turkey?
never had lasagna on Thanksgiving.
I've never done that. That feels racist on you now, Arvid.
Or is it Christmas? There's one of them.
No. Never experienced that in my life. I think they do like a weird like seafood thing like right before Christmas. But I think
that does
that
sound
might
good though, like a bunch
might
of like
be. I think that
shellfish
might
and
be like
pasta
a
and stuff.
Catholic thing more.
I know like a lot of like Orthodox people only eat fish at Christmas.
Yeah,
right?
it's like
they
the
don't
Catholic
do like the big
Orthodox.
feast.
Yeah, is what.
Yeah.
Not the like the
I mean,
Roman
Swedes
Catholicism
eat a lot of
is
fish,
very
but that's
different
more
than,
like
Your location.
yeah.
Like there's just always water around you, pretty close by.
Yeah, I mean, some of it has fish in it.
Yeah.
So, anyway, so thanks for listening to this rambly podcast.
Yeah.
If you liked it, you should subscribe to whatever the heck this is.
How many links?
Let's
you
start
got
over.
going on now?
Let's redo the ending. Thanks for listening to the podcast. If you liked it, you should leave a 5-star review. And if you really liked it, you could subscribe on YouTube or your podcast listening device. You could comment upon a podcast video. We have on YouTube. We have other things on our YouTube channel will be more of that in the future.
Yeah.
You can also email us at thesavestatepodcast@gmail.com. And contact us on any social media at the Save State Pod. Especially if you remember Dirty Vegas.
Pod. Yep.
The man can
Just
break
end it right
dance
there.
while being sad.
All right. So thank you, Marcus, guest host Marcus.
Thank you. Can't wait to have you back again soon
Well,
here.
thank you guys for having me on.
Yeah.
My life needs
yeah.
meaning.
I do too. This is good.
Yeah.
All right.
We'll find some other stuff.
I think
All right.
we're
Oh, thanks again, guys.
gonna say goodbye. Bye.
In fact, I couldn't even find my keyboard, so I'm using this dinky little chiclet keyboard I borrowed from my dad.
So you
Does
like
it have a
the-
nub?
No, it doesn't have a nub.
Wait, like the ThinkPad nub?
A little mouse
Yeah,
nub?
I don't know
Yeah.
why. The only IBM does that, or Lenovo, I guess now.
Honestly, I kind of liked it. It wasn't like the
it
best thing
wasn't
in the
bad.
world, but it would suck if you were like typing a little aggressively and you kind of like nudge your marker and then you just gotta redo your own.
I played Diablo with a nub.
Yeah,
That
Back in the
is
day.
that's hardcore.
insane.
Well, it wasn't that hard because my laptop could barely run it, so it was running at like 3 frames a second, so I had a lot of like buffering time.
A lot of time to think about where you were going to click next.